What's going on, everybody? This is Twin Flames Unite. We are back in Birmingham after our little mini vacation out in Panama. Had a little bit of fun.
Rendezvous.
Yeah, a little rendezvous. Yeah. And for those of you all who don't know, this is
Alicia.
and I'm Chris.
Smooth.
All right. Good deal. Well, tonight, y'all, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty serious that you shouldn't take too lightly, and that is soul contracts. We're going to dive into that this evening.
Yes, we're going to be talking about soul contracts and what are soul contracts. How do you recognize if you're fulfilling these contracts, and also why so many difficult relationships that you might find yourself in, and how to fulfill your soul contracts.
Yep. And just to give you a quick summary of what soul contracts are, is pretty much you had a meeting with your higher self and you said that there are some things that I want to learn that I can only experience on earth.
Yeah, and it's to help your soul develop to the point of enlightenment. That's pretty much what these lessons are for. And so you agree to, it's not really like a physical contract where you would sign. It's more like things that you're bound to, so that you can encounter these opportunities and you will be allowed to grow in different ways, different avenues. Now, we have free will. So just because you have a soul contract doesn't mean that you have to do it in this lifetime. You can choose not to because of free will. But you still, eventually you will have to deal with it whenever you want to. But it's just going to prolong your process towards enlightenment, pretty much.
Yep. And when it comes to soul contracts, these are not classes that you can skip. There's no tests that you can take to pass through it. It's something you have to learn.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we touched on one of the previous videos is that when your twin flame is going through the lessons, it's very important that you don't interrupt those lessons.
Yeah,
Okay?
because it could be a lesson about learning how to just simply love yourself, self-love. It could be that you have to learn forgiveness. In order for you to learn forgiveness, you might encounter somebody who treats you really, really bad, and you're wondering, why do I encounter so many people that treat me bad? And it's simply because you have to learn how to forgive.
Right.
And so until you learn how to forgive and how to release, you'll keep meeting people that pretty much treats you a certain type of way that you might not agree with. So it all goes back to the soul contract. And you can choose to ignore it and move on and go someplace else, but you're going to keep finding the same patterns. And that's another way you can tell if you have a contract to fulfill, is because you'll keep having the same situation keep showing up over and over and over again. And the way that you can deal with it is to just stop and ask yourself, what is the lesson here? What exactly do I need to learn? You can meditate on it. You can, just dig deep within yourself, and you'll get the answers. But once you get that lesson, then you can move on to the next phase, the next chapter in your life. And then you won't have to repeat that anymore because you've already gotten the lesson out of it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. And now how you go about doing that is once you realize what the lesson is, you have to release that person. Whether it's forgiveness, love, whatever it is, you have to release the situation, the circumstance. But when you release it with love. Not anguish or anger or anything like that, because then it's just going to turn into a karmic situation that you're going to have to deal with later. So you just release it with just love and light, and you let it go. But keep the lesson, because the lesson is the whole point of the situation. So you keep the lesson and you let it go, and then you move on. And that's how your soul pretty much grows, by learning lessons, because this is a big university. Universe. So uni meaning one, verse is a song, right? So we really supposed to be living in harmony, because we all singing one song, universe, right?
We all are one.
Right. And then as you most people already know this, because this is a stage of enlightenment, so everybody knows that we all connected some way or another.
Right.
It's just the higher up in awareness that you go, the more that you're going to realize that we all just one. We're all connected.
And I think one of the things we need to touch on is, how do you recognize that you're on the right path, or that you're even working on your soul work, you know?
Yeah, well, I won't even say it's a right or wrong path, because if you don't get the lesson that you came in to get, you don't have to, because again, it's free will. But if you do, it's just going to help you to grow and to kind of fulfill what you came here for, because if you don't fulfill it in this lifetime, you're going to do it in the next one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some good stuff. And so, yeah, it's definitely worth you taking the time out to really search yourself, and in a lot of ways that you can actually really do that work to start working out your soul contracts is to get into meditation.
Oh yes, can't stress that enough.
Yeah, because when you get into meditation, you get in contact with your higher self, God, higher energy, however you want to call it. And once you get connected with that,
the source,
infinite there you go.
Source.
When you get in contact with the source, then you can find out what lessons are you supposed to learn, what path are you supposed to be on. So this way, instead of taking Spiritual Awakening 101 like 10 different times, you can take that one class and just move on to the next, instead of prolonging the period. Because getting to, now this is, if this is for you and you want to reach a heightened level of awareness, that you want to get to the oneness, getting connected to your higher self, then this is something that you really want to focus in on and take that time to know yourself, know thyself. That's pretty much it.
Man or woman, know thyself. They always say man, right? Woman, know thyself. So get to know yourself. And this all ties into the twin flame, because once you start getting to know yourself and accepting yourself, because I think a lot of the times that's the one of the areas where everybody struggles on is accepting yourself, like 100%. Accepting your good sides and your bad sides, your shadow side, doing shadow work. And shadow work just simply means parts of yourselves that you might not be so excited about, like the negative things about yourself. It's still yourself.
Right.
So you just have to learn how to fuse the good and the bad that you like about yourself, and just be one with yourself. And so when you meet your twin flame now, I'm not saying that it's gonna not prevent the the running and the stirring up of emotions, because that's inevitable. It's going to happen, but it's going to help you to deal with it a lot better.
Right. Because
you've already dealt with a lot of your internal issues. You already know that you have contracts here to fulfill with different relationships. Now you might meet your twin flame, and they might be in a marriage or they might be in a relationship, and you might not know exactly how to handle it. Now if you've done your work within yourself and you've gotten in contact with your higher self, then you'll be able to learn how to navigate that process.
Yeah.
Because like we said before, some twin flames, they don't really end up together in this lifetime, depending on how far along in your journey of awakening or development that you're at. You might choose to run, or you might choose to stay. Right. But at the end of the day, it's free will. It's still your choice.
Yeah. Yeah, because I would say along our journey, we are, there's no other word to say it but blessed that we actually were together in this lifetime. And the way that it happened was just awesome, because there was no interference from past relationships, no interference of lessons that we had to learn. So when we got together, it really made that soul work a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Now there are challenges, because
we still gotta grow. We still growing.
You still gotta grow.
Yeah.
Because once you learn one lesson and you move on to the next, it's awesome that you are moving on to the next. But sometimes that next lesson may not be as easy as you think it is.
It might be harder.
Yeah.
But it's just the next lesson, and it's just the next phase and next opportunity for your soul to grow. Because I have this, I know this person, and she had a lesson that she needed to learn. Once she had learned that lesson, she got it, and she was like, okay, I understand now, and she was able to move past. I guess she met someone, and she thought they were going to have a long-term relationship, and this has been something that was repeating. It was a pattern in her life that the men would come for short term and then they would leave, and then she always felt like she was not enough, like it's something missing within herself. But then the last go around when it happened, she finally got the lesson. The lesson was she is enough, and it's okay for them to leave because they're not ready, and they're not on the same path. Like, you might be on a different level on your journey than someone else is, so, but it's okay. And that does not mean that you're not enough. You're always enough and more than enough. So that was her lesson that she had to learn, that she was enough. And so she had the aha moment. She took the lesson, released it, and now, you know, she doesn't have to repeat that same pattern because she got the lesson. And that's the whole point of soul contracts.
And that's another point that kind of brought to my attention, something that you said, that when it comes to soul contracts, there are some things that you are going to do internally, as far as meditation and going through and things of that nature, but you're also going to experience some things externally. And you're actually going to learn those lessons through people. So
difficult relationships.
Difficult relationships. If there's somebody in your life that pushes your buttons, they're pushing your buttons for a reason. And they may not know it, but your higher self put that person in your path
to push those buttons for a reason.
So just think back on your relationships, past, current, and the ones that you want to have in the future. And when I say the ones that you want to have in the future, because once you learn your lessons, and then you understand the type of vibrations that you want to be on, and what type of people will help you along your spiritual path, and they'll help you, once you realize the people that you want to be around, that you can put those people in your circle, in your life, that's going to help you grow. But let's go back to thinking about things that happened in the past and things that are going on in the future. Those people that were in your life, and a lot of times it's not just negative, it can be positive stuff too, because through our children we learn how to love.
It's true.
Because in a lot of cases, going through relationships, sometimes you don't really get that love. Unconditional love.
Unconditional, that's a better word.
Unconditional love, because you can love your neighbor, you can love your coworker, but you can leave them where they are most of the time. And with your kids, you don't get a chance to just leave them
where they are.
And where they get on your nerves,
yeah,
and things of that nature, yeah, they teach you unconditional love.
They really do.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you may have that coworker that's right next to you that's just loud.
Can't stand them. Don't want to be around them.
And sometimes you have to understand that life is full of people like this, and you have to learn how to deal with all types of people.
Yeah.
So just understand that during your soul contracts that you made with your higher self, with the source, that people that come into your life, there are no coincidences.
None. Absolutely none.
Everything is planned out. And if you want to find out what that plan is, meditate, sun gaze, get in contact with your higher self, and it'll make so much more sense.
And also, try changing your diet, because being on a plant-based diet, I'm not telling everybody to stop eating meat and eating chicken, but I'm just saying it does actually help with your spiritual awakening, whatever you put into your body, because you are what you eat, literally. And plant-based foods are really high in alkaline. So that will be really good to help to clear out your chakras and stuff like that. So thinking about changing what you eat, because however you feel, whatever you eat, it does have an effect on how you feel physically and mentally and spiritually.
Right.
So you might want to try thinking about that too. That does help.
And going back to Twin Flames, because we're all here twin flames to help each other grow.
Yeah.
And so let me just touch bases on this for the ones who have found their twin flames and the ones that haven't found their twin flames. And once again, keeping in mind that the twin flames is not about the lovey-dovey, the fluff, all that stuff.
Not only about that, because that part is good.
Yeah, that part is good.
But it's not only about that part.
But yeah, having your twin flame makes your soul contract work a little bit easier. Because I would say that being with Leisha has really helped ignite, and that's what the flames are for. They're there to help ignite
Spark that match.
Yeah, put that fire up under your butt to start putting in work. And
I cannot.
And just to be in all seriousness, y'all, recently I have been feeling more of a spiritual awakening than I've ever experienced in my entire life. And it is so true that once you get with your twin flame, that they do accelerate that process. I have never experienced anything like this in my life, and I am just completely blown away and sometimes just overwhelmed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I had to sit in the car today for about 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. And so that happens even, and for the people who have twin flames and they're in other relationships or they're not here, the times that you were actually with them, if you think back on it, they really helped influence you to be a better person.
Yeah, even if they really made you mad.
Yeah.
Think about what they made you mad at. What did it bring out inside of you that made you want to make a change for the better?
Yeah, because your twin flame is just a reflection of you. And the things that you see wrong in them, it's probably wrong in you. And I'm just being honest, people.
Yeah.
Because your twin flame is a complete mirror of yourself. And if you notice something in your twin flame that you don't like, or something that you want to change, something that you love, you can sit back and you can reflect on that. Once again, mirror reflection. You can reflect on that and think, is that something that I do?
Yeah.
Do I love that way?
And if that is your twin flame, it usually is, and something that you need to address, because that's what the twin flames do.
Yeah.
They bring up your imperfections, so you're able to see it clearer. And then that's how your soul really gets to accelerate, because sometimes it's hard to change things about yourself if you cannot see yourself outside of yourself.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So if you have somebody that's a reflection of you and your imperfections, it kind of helps you speed up the process, helps you to grow.
There you go. Okay. Yeah. All right. So just to recap, once again, soul contracts are just agreements that you made with your higher self, with the source, that you all figured would be beneficial for the growth of your soul.
Yeah, so you can get to enlightenment. And also how to recognize if you're fulfilling these contracts. If you keep having patterns, if you keep seeing patterns in your life, if it keeps showing up over and over and over again, just stop and just think about it. Like, what is the lesson here? What am I not getting? And it's gonna come to you. And then once you realize what it is, you accept the situation for what it is. Because sometimes we like to see things and just make it out to be what we want it to be instead of accepting it for what it is. I know somebody who likes to do that. I do it too. But just accept it for what it is. Once you accept it for what it is, then you release it with just love. Not anger, not hate. You release it with love. And keep the lesson. Keep the lesson, whatever the lesson is, self-love, forgiveness, keep the lesson. And then that way you can free yourself and you can move on to the next phase.
Yeah, and another way to recognize that you're on the right path, or if you're actually steering away from the path, if you ever notice you see a lot of synchronicity going around, 1111, 222, 333, those are signals, for one, to tell you that you're on the right path, and also for you to pay attention to what's going on. Because they're just signs from your higher self letting you know that, hey, pay attention, keep moving forward, keep doing what you're supposed to do. You know, it's you have to be aware of these things.
Yeah, and also remember the difficult relationships, mean bosses, coworkers that get on your nerves, neighbors that get on your nerves, anybody that get on your nerves. They're people that are difficult to deal with. You can often find a lot of lessons for your soul growth in those people. So pay close attention to the difficult people. Okay? So I think that we gave you guys some insightful information. If you think that you did learn something from this video, if you like our video,
Please like.
you can feel free to like the video and subscribe. And just so you can know whenever we are putting out videos, you can just hit that little bell button at the bottom. It's the notification button, so that you'll be notified whenever we put up a new video. And we wanted to tell you guys also about our shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got a different clothing line, Third Eye Apparel,
Entrepreneur.
Fear, False Evidence Appearing Real.
And mine is the 3 major keys. Now my baby made this up all by himself, right, baby?
Yeah, there you go. But we got
Tell him what's the 3 major keys.
3 major keys. Vibration, energy, and frequency.
By Nikola Tesla.
Nikola Tesla. If you don't know about Nikola Tesla, look him up.
Look him up, guys. It would make it or break it for you.
Yeah, but there'll be a link below so you can look at some other apparel and stuff that we have.
Yeah.
But one thing we got coming up is some Twin Flame shirts, so you definitely want to take a look at that. We got some coming in the mail, so as soon as we get them, we'll be out here rocking.
We're going to be wearing and we're going to be showing to you, so you can get yours too.
Yeah, but definitely hit that subscribe button, people, because there is so much information that has to be shared, so many videos that we are putting together. So if you hit that subscribe button, you'll be one of the first people to know exactly when that information comes out. And we're going to try to actually speed up the process on this, because I know we've been doing videos here and there, but we're going to start being more consistent, probably doing videos almost every day.
Yeah, and then that way we can get to answer your questions. So if you have any questions about this video, you can go ahead and comment on the bottom, and we'll go ahead and try to see if we can answer as many questions as we can, because you're learning from us and we're learning from you too, because we're here to raise the consciousness on a whole. So we're just working together to make this world a better place.
That's the whole thing Twin Flames are for. Twin Flames United, we help lift this world. We are the light workers.
Yes.
If you haven't looked into light workers, look into that too. But we can sit here and talk to y'all
all night.
All night. But just know, you're here for a reason. Nothing happens by chance.
Accident.
It's all been planned out. From the day that you were born, it's all been planned out. If you've ever looked into your natal chart?
Natal chart, yeah.
Look into your natal chart. It'll help explain a lot.
That's an eye-opener.
But look into that. But we love y'all. Once again, we're Twin Flames Unite. I'm Chris, and this is
Alicia.
There you go. That's my boo.
Peace.
Love y'all. Peace out.